Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. It's 5th of January. I'm not sure I can say Happy New Year, but okay.
Still allowed.
Still? Okay. Happy 2023. EyeJax Sahbi, Papimento. Welcome, guys. It's been a while. We've been off the grid for a few weeks. Did you guys relax a little bit? Did you guys enjoy the time off? Full of hope going into January. Schroeder ball. Are we ready, guys?
I needed that break from Schroeder ball, man. So yeah, not saying I'm confident that he will turn things around, but it was great to have like something else to worry about than Ajax, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're going to talk about a lot of things, and of course, we have some people joining as well. They can leave a comment. We will discuss as much as possible, but there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start, so I'm going to leave it to Sahbi. I'm going to give Sahbi the opportunity to decide what we're going to talk about right now. So tell me.
I mean, there are several topics, but I mean, we saw today new keeper, Rudy.
Yep.
We have Daley Blind, of course.
Daley Blind.
Our Ajax who went to Bayern Munich, and of course the maybe the transfer window. I think there's a lot to talk about.
So,
and of course the questions.
Yeah, let me start with Daley because that's an interesting one. You know, it's funny though because look, I'm not gonna say who the people are, but there are some people that were critical of Daley Blind, and then we heard that he's leaving, you know, for free, contract terminated. Some people became a little bit upset about that, and now he's going to Bayern, and Ajax fans are tripping, man. Basically, they're like, "What is happening right now?" So. What do you guys feel about the whole situation regarding Daley Blind, Sahbi?
No, I'm really happy for him. I mean, it's a one-time opportunity, one lifetime opportunity at his age, at this moment. So yeah, I'm really glad for him. He will definitely be league. He definitely win a league title. So he has that like that joker that by winning every league wherever he plays. But he did well, and I know he will probably not be a first 11 player. So I don't think he will play the first 11. But I mean, because Lucas Hernandez is injured, and that's why they got him. But if you see Upamecano, if you know De Ligt, and of course as left back Davis, you know he probably won't play, but he will get his minutes definitely, and you will see his strength at Bayern Munich because they know how to build up. They have extremely good players at every position, and they dominate. And that's what you need. That's where you can see his strength, his assets, his passing ability, his build-up ability. So he can do very well over there, and I'm really glad for him.
Some people, Ajax, I'm going to go to you, and you've talked about Daley Blind for many times, and maybe you're going to
talk about them daily, bro. I talked about them daily.
Yeah, exactly. You talked about him daily. The thing is, you know, how do you feel about him leaving and now signing with Bayern Munich? I mean, you said about we don't have that luxury. Those were your words. We don't have that luxury to have Blind in our team because there's so many deficiencies, basically.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like what Sahbi is saying? This is a perfect match because Bayern has so many good players around him. Maybe it's better for him as well.
I think Sahbi hit it on the nail almost fully. I still stand by my words. Like I've been for like 1.5, 2 years now. I wish Daley all the best. He's a child of the club. I love the guy, and I hope he does very well at Bayern München. But I'm not changing my opinion, and I think it will be a good move for him mainly because. In our team, it isn't clicking at the moment, like we discussed in earlier talks, you know. And he goes to a team, Bayern München, that has a great team, great chemistry, doesn't have a lot of players leaving each year, so they can build upon that, you know, upon that momentum and just grow further. And it's easier to implement him in that kind of style, that kind of team, than in a team that is trying to find its way, you know, like Ajax has at the moment. Because there's so many different positions compared to the Ten Hag era, and it's difficult to play with him in the team with so many positions that are not clicking at the moment. So I can see him doing well at Bayern because they are just a machine, and it's easier to implement him in that kind of team.
Yeah. Let me ask a question to Papimento about Daley Blind, right? One thing that I'm wondering, right? I mean, he's not going to be a first 11, probably. He will be a rotational player at Bayern Munich. He will get his minutes, like Sahbi said. Why couldn't we use Daley like that at Ajax? That's the only thing I'm not really understanding. Is it really because he didn't accept being a rotational player at Ajax, or is this because probably he's not clicking with Schreuder or something like that?
You're making it so difficult on me, man. So many questions in one. Relax.
I'm sorry, bro.
First of all, I think Blind will shine. I wish him all the best. I think with quality players around him, his deficiencies will be masked. He can play his game. Maybe Bayern will play also a 5 in the back, so Blind can really just be busy with the build-up. But for Ajax, Bayern always keeps their best players. Ajax always sells their best players. That's the biggest difference between the two clubs. And Blind and Schreuder, I think there was something between them. It wasn't the right click. But also, I think the expectations of Blind to always play didn't. I mean, the management could have talked to him before the season started. You're at a certain age. You might be a rotation player. You might not be the player that's always going to start. Which
management, Papimento? Which one?
Van der Sar, Hamstra, Huntelaar, any of those can make a conclusion that Tadic and Blind are getting to a certain age that they might not be able to play every game. Okay. And that didn't happen. Our management is not the best at the moment. So, and Schreuder didn't make it easy. Yeah. I mean, he didn't protect him on the field. He didn't get the best out of him. And I think, Blind wouldn't just make a decision of just leaving Ajax just like that. So there must be something going on. And I think this is the best move for him. And I think he will shine at Bayern just because he has so many players that can mask his deficiencies. 100%.
And I think, I mean, Papimento is perfectly right. But I also think the fact that he's not convinced that players like Wijndal or Bassi are better than him. I mean, it's like a downgrade. If you compare it with Upamecano, Davies, those are really good players. But if you compare it with, I mean, Daley Blind was a star player in last years. I mean, 18, 19, he did well, etc. And all of a sudden, he became a third pick or even a fourth pick because Rensch was playing as left back. I mean, that's like a real downgrade, and that's not acceptable if you look at his status. So it was a done deal for him, and he had to move on.
But what happened with Rensch was after Blind and Schreuder had their discussion, right?
Exactly. But that's what they say. I mean, you never know. Yeah. And I think there's always.
Let's be honest. Blind was playing from the start of the season every game. We saw him also playing Champions League. We saw him against Napoli. It wasn't the best Blind we ever saw. So
something happened. Something happened definitely. And I think there's also a link with his father. Why he's not becoming a member of the supervisory board. It's definitely connected with each other. I don't know how. But it's connected. It's connected.
He's denying that. It could be connected, but Danny is denying that it's nothing to do with his son. But you never know if that's the truth or not.
Nah, I don't buy that.
But I think it's more the latter that you're saying than what you said before. Because if you're being really honest, Daley was in decline already in the last season of Den Haag for a while, and we've been stating already maybe it would be time to rotate him more. But I think it's more the latter that you were saying. He's been a star player ever since he's been back in the Ajax squad. And I think it's hard to swallow to lose your starting position. Not after the fallout with Schreuder that they choose for other players, but knowing that you will not probably be the first team player anymore in the remainder of your contract. And with going to Bayern, there's no expectations there. They know what he can do, but he will not be the star player there. So it's easier to swallow to sit on the bench there and take your minutes and make your minutes there than you do at Ajax, where you've always been a child of the club and you've always been playing and you've always been one of the first 11 players. I think that has to do a lot with the situation, and it doesn't help that he and the coach just don't click. But I think that is the foremost reason that he probably parted.
Before we go to the comments, just one question to all three of you. Do you guys feel like, from Ajax perspective, is that the way that we should say farewell to a child of the club? Is that the way that we're supposed to let him go? Or looking at a situation, you're like, yeah, but what else could we have done, basically? Because he didn't want to stay anymore.
Yeah, but it's so difficult to say this, Juan, because we do not know what happened behind the scenes.
Of course.
And I wished he could have gone like at the end of the season with the championship, having his role still also in the second half of the season, maybe not as a first team player, but we cannot pinpoint where the exact problem is. And we know there's something wrong with him and the coach, but we do not know for sure still, up until this day, what exactly is the problem, what exactly happened. So it's very difficult to say that. So in an ideal world, yes, I would have loved to have him leave at the end of the season with the championship, 37 title, but probably that isn't possible. And maybe it's better that he goes because the coach isn't going. The management stated that they're still behind the coach, not agreeing with it.
That's why.
And he chose to leave. And so it's maybe better if they're not clicking that one of the parties part from Ajax,
Bro.
But I will still have him in high regards, still a club legend for me, and I wish him all the best. I hope he does very well at Bayern München, and I have no bad feelings towards him,
Yeah, I just realized as well that one of the reasons why Ajax let him leave in the middle of the season is that there were reports, of course, that in his contract he had a clause, X amount of games, and he will have an automatic extension of 1 more year.
Exactly. I think it was a blessing. It was a blessing for Ajax that there was like a fight between Schreuder and Blind, because eventually they chose Schreuder, and that helped Ajax out to terminate the contract, because in that way he wouldn't be extended automatically, because he would definitely would get those minimum games, right?
Yeah,
if he
probably.
continued.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I'm convinced it's there's a hidden agenda. I'm convinced.
Maybe I'm being naive here, Juan, but I cannot believe that with so many gentlemen's agreements that we had with long-standing players at our club for so many seasons now, that this actually is the main reason behind it. I want to believe that our club isn't like that, because we missed a lot of millions with other players that we could have sold for more, but had gentlemen's agreements with and took a lower fee, to let them move on. So missing out on Blind now with a little, maybe a few millions in salary, I do not know if a child of the club would be treated that way, and that would be the main reason. I think it's collateral damage, but I cannot believe that it's the main agenda behind it. No,
it's not the main. It's a part of it.
But also not a part of it. No. Maybe I'm naive, but I do not want to believe that. Especially not towards a player like Blind.
No,
but Ajax, the other situations you're talking about with gentleman agreements were also players that were still in their prime, in the top of the years. We're talking about Blind. It's not the same level as we're used to. So yeah, he's also not accepting his side role, his rotation, his rotational play at Ajax. So yeah, then it becomes a whole different situation. And the gentleman agreements we had, was with Nico Tagliafico, Onana, players that were in prime. That
Onana is a good example, but
I think that's
I remember with Onana. Just a second, with Onana, before the whole doping scandal, he could have left, and I remember fans wanting him an extra year, and he did sign and stayed another year at Ajax. Yeah, exactly. So, and those were players in a different age. So for me, this is a whole different scenario. And when your level drops that much, you cannot talk about gentleman agreements anymore. Something has to happen.
I do not think age has anything to do with it, or the value the player still has for the club. If he has done so many things for the club, brought so many titles, and is like a legend to the club, I think he proved many things and a lot to deserve that treatment. So even though he may not be the star player and can deliver that anymore to the team like in his prime years, still he deserves that, and I think he still will be treated like that. I have hopes that the club will have the player in that regard, to treat him like that. And age has nothing to do with it. It has to do with what he brought to the club, and that he's a child to the club, in my opinion.
Child to the club, okay, but if your level drops and you're not accepting your side role, then what are you expecting then from the club?
Yeah.
The club is not a charity. The
You're too
club
naive,
is
Ajax.
perform.
Too naive,
No,
in my
no, no,
opinion.
no, no, no. I
Too
don't
naive.
know.
I mean,
No.
you're taking too shiny about Ajax. I mean, there's some level. I mean, it's
Of course.
it's the most beautiful club in the world, but at the end, it's also a club, and they think about their finances. They don't think only about the players. It's
Bro,
it's a listed
much broader
company.
than that.
How many wrong decisions does Ajax make with spoiling finances in that area?
Yeah.
So you
indeed.
think that they will be very firm only on the Daley Blind situation?
No,
but
no,
not
no, not
about
only
the
on the
finances.
Daily Blind, but
Not
it's a
only
whole
about
different
finances.
situation, though.
No.
It's
That's
not
all
only
different.
about the
Okay, wait.
finances.
Let me ask this to Ajax then. You saw the World Cup games of the Dutch squad. What
Yeah.
did you think of Daley? Did you really think he was of that level that we should keep him?
Yeah, but that isn't the matter, bro. You keep saying what the rest value is for him to our team. That is
I'm
not
not talking
my
about
point.
rest value.
Not
I'm
my
talking
point.
about performance on the pitch.
Yeah, I think he's not good enough to play on ice, and I still stand by my point that I've been saying for 2 years now. So that's not the point. I'm just saying I cannot believe, and maybe I am being naive, I cannot believe that this is one of the reasons that helped him move towards the exit. I think other things are also the matter, and I think this is just some rumor that came out in the media to just blame a little bit on Blind. I cannot believe this will be the situation. Not
Everybody
with
has
a
a
child at the
role.
club
Everybody has
that
a role.
won so many titles. I cannot believe that.
Look, there's so many things we don't know, like Ajax already pointed out. So it's a little bit of information that we read here and there, and we don't know for sure if it's all true, yes or no. Because also with reports, guys, people have agendas, right? So we must not forget that as well. I think we talked about Blind for quite some time. Just going over the comments, I see a lot of comments coming in. So Papimento, take it away.
I'm just gonna do the hellos now. So
Sure, go ahead. No worries.
Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Happy New Year. Roy Nimbus. Good evening. The Salt King, right here. I saw somebody also from Barbados here. Wait,
Wow.
just a second. A lot of text, guys. So
Don't forget,
let me
guys,
see.
to smash that like button. Don't forget.
Here, Kyle Harrison. Happy New Year from Barbados, my
Wow.
friends.
Happy New Year,
Wow.
Kyle.
Kyle,
Happy
super
New Year to you
awesome
too, man.
to have you here. Same. Let me see, and then I'll pick some questions. Oh wait,
Yeah,
I
sure,
see
go
also
ahead.
Marcus here. Marcus as well. Hello, Marcus. Good to have you. And then the questions.
Oh, there's
We
a
have
lot,
some
man.
Kudus questions. You guys want Kudus questions?
Anything about Daley, maybe? Because we spoke about Daley.
No, most of the people are agreeing with us, but I'll check. Let me just do this one first. Hello,
Yeah,
guys.
sure.
Question: what is Kudus' best position, and where did Ten Hag play him when he was the manager?
Played him
Who
on
wants
the
to
bench.
take this one?
He played on the bench.
Actually,
on the
Ten Hag
bench.
was the first one that played him as a false nine against
Yeah.
Liverpool
True.
in the Champions League match where he got injured. But
But it was a tactical
yeah,
decision. It was a tactical decision.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's true.
Let me take this one. Okay,
Wow.
so yeah, I'll take this one if that's
You
okay
want-
with
you
you guys.
The
Just
host is taking it though.
That's okay.
Just the host. Go
I'm
for
just
it.
the host, but I'll take it. I think it's very important to notice that Kudus was injured 3 separate times, long injuries, so he didn't have a lot of playing time with Ten Hag. And the thing with Ten Hag is he only plays players, especially towards the end of the season, that are fully fit and that have shown value throughout the season. So a lot of times Kudus came and was injured during a season, and towards the end he was a little bit fit, but he wouldn't get a lot of playing time because Ten Hag didn't shift a lot during those times. Having said that, he played Kudus as an 8. I see him play as an 8. He played him as a 10. He played him as a false 9. And there is an article in which he thought about, but he never did it actually. He thought about maybe using Kudus as a left back, but he never did.
Okay, and the short answer is attacking midfielder, 10 position.
His best position, but that's personal. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. 10 position.
Yeah, I agree. Or 8 maybe, depending on the team.
Yeah.
Depending on the
Of course.
strategy as well. I think
Yeah.
in a counter team he would be very
But he should,
useful.
but he
So
should
let's
have a free
cover,
roll.
let's cover it all. Just say midfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
Free
Yeah,
roll. With a free roll.
But you know what still bothers me about Ten Hag though? There was a moment last year
man.
that Anthony was injured and he didn't even try Kudus on his spot, he changed the formation to a 4-4-2, and that still sticks.
Yeah,
for me.
remember
That's Kudus one.
that beautiful formation with Haller on the winger position.
Haller and
No,
Tadic
you're
on the
laughing.
4-4-2.
You're laughing, but we
Luka
have
on
another
the
coach now
Yeah,
who's using Luka as a left winger.
As a
So
left winger.
he's trying to surpass Ten Hag. You know, he was like, okay, you put 190 on the wings, let me put 2 meters there. You know, like in
next
height.
level. Next
whatever
level.
you can do, I'll do better. So we'll talk about Schroeder in a minute. Just go over the comments, Papimento.
I have here a question from Rita Shahi. Do you think that young players from young Ajax should get promoted to the Ajax 1 squad? I always want young players to come through, but they need to have the level and already be ready to get to that point and prove themselves. And at this point, I don't see anyone in young Ajax ready to make that step. So
When you
that's my
say,
short
when
answer.
you guys, how do you guys understand promoted? Being part of the squad or being really like getting minutes in the squad? Which one is it, according to you guys?
Getting
Promoted
minutes.
is being part of the squad, a steady part of the squad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no more young Ajax games, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sometimes.
No, maybe
Occasionally.
a bit. But it's difficult, you know, because one of our best talents is currently on loan, I believe, at Trabzonspor, right? It's Trabzon,
Yeah.
right? With
Yeah.
Univar. And he's not even making it, you know. So yeah, it's a difficult situation at the moment.
It depends
Well,
on the positions.
But there are promising players. Like if
Definitely.
if you look
Definitely.
at the although we didn't have a really good run, to be honest, but in the games we played in December and November, I think there were a couple of youngsters like Hato who really stood up, you know. But maybe he's a little bit too young still, but he really made an
far too young.
impression.
You know,
Yeah.
the future is bright probably, but not within 1 year, 1.5. I see them more of maybe breaking through in 2-3 seasons. Those huge talents we have, or Univar must have made like major moves in the Turkish league, but with the current squad there, I'm not seeing them make their debut like within a year.
Anytime soon. No, me
Okay,
neither.
but I don't fully agree with that because it depends on the level of the first team. Like previously, we had a very high level, like last season, for instance. So it was much more difficult for the, you know, like the young Ajax players or the young players to make an impression, to really bounce and go there. Even Taylor now had to wait for a long time to get his chance. And now this season,
That's how it is
really
at the moment.
in almost every game. But if our quality as a first team is not that high, surely, I mean, we cannot keep buying players. We should give
but
players chances as well.
we should also not be too negative because you have Gravenberg, you have Timber, you have Wrench, you know, you have Taylor breaking through. So it's not all bad, you know. And yes, it takes a little bit more time, but we still have huge talents coming into the squad. Only it's not the same as in the Frank de Boer era, for example, that we have to rely so much on
Solely on them,
on a second team, you know, with guys like Usbilis being a first team player, for example. You know, you never hear anything of those guys again. You know, it's not that situation anymore. So, but still, there are quality products coming through our youth academy, but it takes longer.
Yeah, maybe.
Continuing on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Continuing on with the question, with the comments. Bas Dost, we have a celebrity. Ten Hag rarely used Kudus. Yeah, that's 100%.
Because of injuries, mostly, to be honest.
Yeah, but now he wants to sign him apparently. So yeah.
Yeah.
There is a question here. I don't know if I should answer it though. Your views on how Ten Hag is doing at United? Is he exceeding your expectations? I know we have something coming up.
Yeah, short answer from
this
everyone.
already?
Short answer from everyone about this. Then we move back to Ajax.
Who do you want to take?
Go ahead.
Okay. I saw a stat. You know, the beginning of the season wasn't that peachy, especially with that loss against Brentford, I believe, 4-0 or something. But I saw a stat, and I'm not recalling correctly how many matches, but they compared Klopp, I believe, Guardiola, Ten Hag, and another manager,
Arteta.
how many win percentage they had in their first X games in the Premier League. 25?
25 games.
25 in all competitions probably. He has 72% win percentage. That's insane because the others were around a maximum of 50 plus something, you know? So maybe 56 or something. So that says it all, you know, with that team being in a rebuild stage, coming back from a bad start of the season, winning a few big matches also. Not the Manchester City one, that was awful. But the other ones against Liverpool and stuff, they were quite good, and he's getting those points with the team. So I think he's doing quite well, and I didn't expect him to do that well previously. Before the season, already making it into the top 4, establishing the team there, and that's quite an achievement with all the teams in the Premier League that have been together longer than Manchester United.
I didn't know how to, like. It might sound weird what I'm going to say, but I had so much respect for Ten Hag when he went from Ajax, but I even gained more respect for him for what he did at United. Just looking at the team last year and how the team is performing now and what he did in 6 months, if you compare that to another manager that needed 3 years to be where he is now.
Yeah.
So, and certain players like Rashford, I'm seeing different things from him that I never saw before. Like
it's enough. It's enough. Yeah.
But
But they're playing a whole different game, and the respect grew for me.
The thing about Rashford, I stated that several times in the United view, but I heard a certain host say something there also. He said prior to becoming a manager there, don't be surprised if you see certain players that aren't like performing well at United. Suddenly make a big change the next season under Ten Hag and playing better, and that you not expect it from that player. And I do not know which kind of host that was, but Juan.
I'm just the host.
So somebody predicted that.
Quickly. I don't know which match it was. 2 matches ago or 3 matches ago. So they didn't have Lisandro Martinez, and Ten Hag was thinking, okay, so I need the center defender. So usually you will start looking and you're like, oh, we have Maguire. But you said, no. We'll put Luke Shaw there.
Yeah.
So,
but in all seriousness, the last game, it was Maguire and Lindelof in the center of the defense. So even with them playing, they managed to win 3-0. So
all right. Sahbi, quickly on this one, then we move to Ajax. Let's go.
No, just off topic. Besides enough, I'm just reading as well a lot of criticism against Anthony for playing bad these couple of months. But guys, fans, I don't know whether there are any United fans watching, but give it some time. It's only 20 games probably that he played. You need to give him some time. He can do it. He can do it on the right side.
But Sahbi, let me reverse it now. Okay, let me reverse it to the Ajax situation. So they paid 100 million for Anthony. We paid 30+ million for Bergwijn. Aren't you one of the biggest critics of Bergwijn right now?
Yeah, but there's a difference in the level. He comes from the Netherlands, eredivisie, to the Premier League. So that's a step up. So it's going to be difficult either way. Now
so from Spurs to Ajax.
That's a step down, man. That's a step down.
The competition is
I'm talking about the league.
I understand.
He's moving from a team that never wins any prize to a team that competes for prizes. So for me, that's a big step up, man.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
enough jokes. Papimento, go ahead with the comments, man, so we can move on.
Nick Redeker, 100% agree. But the one thing I don't like that the club chose a cockroach above a legend. I struggle with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. To be honest, it's understandable. I think a lot of people are hurt about the fact, or don't like the fact that a child of the club leaves like this. That it ends like this. You don't want that, basically.
But know what hurts me the most? Not Blind related directly. I mean, it was known that Blind was gonna leave us before the World Cup started. There's 2 months, we're almost 2 months further, and still no reinforcement, still no replacement for Daley Blind, still no reinforcements on other positions besides the goalie, Rulli. And that makes me really mad. I mean, you see clubs. I mean, Neuer during the World Cup, or I don't know, after World Cup, he broke his leg. Boom, they're already busy with a goalie, and they probably get Jan Sommer. There is no, and I know there's no technical director.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
There is no. Then search for a technical director ASAP instead of waiting, because now we are moving to Sunday where we will play NEC. Without any reinforcements, and we all know how we played before the winter break, before the World Cup. We saw the friendly matches. I mean,
man.
it's a 1+1. If nothing happens, we will continue the way we went, and that makes me really mad.
But you know, the positive thing in this scenario is the coach will definitely find some good things with those matches. You know, even if we lose,
He will find those good things.
he will
I'm
find
not
those.
finding
He
this.
will find those positives, even if he has to search really hard. But
No,
he will
but
find them.
We will
ridiculous.
go a little bit deeper on Schroeder and upcoming fixtures and also the transfers. Let's just I don't know how many comments do we
Guys,
still have.
there's a lot, but I saw one about Ruli. Maybe we can
Yeah.
maybe we can go there
Mhm.
and just have the discussion about the keeper that we wanted to. I'm not finding it anymore. So many comments.
If
guys,
you
sorry.
find it, let us know. So look, guys, we put it on.
Oh.
Yeah,
Here
go
we
ahead.
go.
What do we think?
Buzz
of
Dost. What do we think of Ruli? Anyone that follows Villarreal, I don't know this one. I'm
No,
out.
but I can remember. I mean, I know I can think of reasons why he wants to go to Ajax. Besides,
Okay,
playing
tell
in
me
the
those
Eredivisie.
reasons, please.
Well, first of all, probably his salary will be a bit higher. So if I'm looking at a personal level. Secondly, he didn't win any league titles when he played in France or in Spain or anywhere. If he comes to the Netherlands playing for Ajax, there's a huge chance of winning a league title. There, he can structurally play Champions League, what we have done basically the last years. For Villarreal, it's always 1 year Champions League and then 2-3 years no Champions League and so on. And next to that, if he lives in a city with, or you can call it a village, 50,000 people live in Villarreal. Now it's coming to Amsterdam most likely. So it's probably also have to do with the environment. I know Netherlands always rainy, etc. The climate, but it's a big city, and of course a big stadium. The fans are great. So it's if you take those all with you, I think it's a fair choice of him to come to Ajax.
Yeah, we're trying. There's no how do you call it? It's no guarantee, but we're trying to maybe get someone from Villarreal maybe on the channel maybe next week. So maybe he can tell us a little bit more about Ruli. So stay tuned about that. The only thing I would ask you guys, let me ask you guys about Ruli transfer, and it's not against him as a player or goalkeeper. I haven't seen enough of him, so I cannot judge. But one of the biggest issues that we had last summer was we didn't use our scouting. So my question is, do you guys think Ruli was part of the scouting? Do you think we scouted Ruli, basically?
I think we cannot rule it out. So I do not know, bro.
Come on,
Seriously,
bro.
I do not have any context with the scouting. But yeah,
Look. The board stated that they made a mistake not listening to the scouts, right? And they just bought some players. I hope they're not making the same mistake twice, and they learned from their mistakes, and they're really listening to quality technical player scouts or technical people that understand how to rate a player. But Ruli, I mean, he's 30 years old. If you're in the business, I think you must have seen enough from him to know if he's good enough to be your number one keeper at Ajax. It's not like you're scouting a young person and he still needs to develop. So
and let me ask you another question, because we're talking about the goalkeeper. We talked about Ruli. You guys don't know if he's scouted or not. Okay, I will not push for this answer. What about Horter now? Because now he's fourth choice basically, and probably he will have a loan. Does he have a future at Ajax at this point, or is this a Scarpa 2.0 we're seeing right now?
Of course, he has a future, bro. The other keepers are 45 and 46.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
they will retire soon.
Yeah,
so he will be the second.
Yeah, but the 40 and the 45 are still playing.
Yeah,
and he's
Yeah,
not.
but I don't expect their contract being extended. I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, but exactly. But Ruli is not signed to be behind Horter, right?
No, not at first.
no.
Not at first, but
you
eventually.
You said fourth goalkeeper, not first goalkeeper. It's obvious that he will not be first goalkeeper for the period that will come, but he will not be fourth goalkeeper for much longer also.
But hence my question. Does he have
Okay, Juan, my honest answer is this. Horter has to go and claim that spot. And he's not doing that at the moment. So it's also challenging for the spot. And the coaches, even Ten Hag, was not seeing him being better than the keepers that we bought that are older. So I think it's a good thing. He's going on loan. And when he comes back, maybe more developed, older, more mature, and then he can take the fight to Rulli, because I think Pasveer and Stekelenburg might be their last seasons.
Could be. We don't know yet.
At Ajax, and then
I think
Rulli would be your first keeper.
Yeah, I think Stekelenburg probably yes. Pasveer, not sure. Maybe one more year. I don't know. Depends.
One of those definitely, probably both. I think.
But I'm more worried about Setford, still not extended his contract, and he's a free agent in a half year, and that worries me more than the Horter part, because I see more in Setford than in Horter, to be honest.
Okay, but maybe playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. Do you see him being an Ajax 1 first team goalkeeper? Setford in the coming years. Is he? Maybe you see more potential in him than Horter, but will you see him taking on that number 1 position?
Yeah, but
do you think he has the potential?
It's in my view, it's possible. I can't tell you how he will develop. I mean, Horter, before he came to Ajax, he had so many clean sheets at go ahead. It doesn't say anything, but the potential is there. So you never know.
But you see that value, that quality in Setford to be a possible first team goalkeeper.
Yeah, eventually, I do.
I don't see that one yet, but okay.
I think honestly we should be a bit more careful with our youngsters. So in that sense, I do agree with Sahbi.
Yeah.
We cannot judge a player when he's 18, 19, say, no, he's not good enough, he's good enough. You don't know how they develop. You should be a little bit more patient with them, in my opinion.
Especially with goalkeepers, because usually they peak at a higher age.
But if you look at Horter, he has everything to be a good goalkeeper. He's good with his feet. He's tall. He has an athletic body, basically. So you would consider him to be the next Van der Sar. But yeah, it's all up to him how he develops, Juan. And we have to be careful with our youngsters. But if I look at the difference between Horter and Setford, I would say Horter would have a bigger chance of making it than Setford.
Okay.
Problem is that the coach probably doesn't see it in him, because the Johan Cruyff shield, or the charity shield at the beginning of the season, he got sacrificed right after that match. And it's not like Pasveer has been peachy the whole first half of the season. I saw him make mistakes that he didn't make last season. So not being sacrificed after those mistakes, not giving Horter a second chance, also says something about the future at the club and the chances you will be getting. And maybe under the reign of Schreuder, it just isn't happening. So it also has to do with the coach. You have to have a coach that has some balls and just try something with the goalkeeper. Look at Van Gaal at the Dutch national team. Did any one of you guys before the tournament expect that Noppert would be the first goalkeeper there?
No.
So you have to have a coach also that has the balls to try him and also let him be in the goal for several matches. Look at what he did with Van der Sar, Van Gaal at Ajax. Same situation, Came in late at a late age, and look at how that happened. What happened with his career. So it also has to do with the coach.
I do find it a little bit different, though. If you look at Ajax and we're rebuilding, you're not gonna put a youngster. You're not gonna give chances to a youngster if he's not ready for it.
But
we're still
look at
rebuilding.
Onana,
It's not.
Those did that with Onana.
Look at Onana.
Onana made so many mistakes at the second team at young Ajax. So many mistakes, but still he developed as a rocket in his time.
Sure.
And he did well. So it's all about giving youngsters a chance. Let them make mistakes. Eventually, they need to develop and play like.
But what I'm trying to say is not in a struggling team.
No,
that's what I'm trying to say. You're not going to try it now.
Yeah,
but in all honesty, even Scherper got more chances than Horter got up until now, and he screwed majorly in against Roma and stuff. And I'm just hoping that for Horter, for his career at Ajax, it won't go like it went with Scherper, But he deserves, in my opinion, he definitely deserves a chance for a few more matches. Not only one, but a few more.
I mean, an example is Donnarumma with AC Milan. Struggling, but 16 years old, and he was their first keeper.
Yeah, and he ended screwing them and left them.
Screwing them
Yeah.
like Onana.
But okay, never
Like
mind.
Onana.
Yeah. All right. Go comments. I see a lot of comments coming in.
I have. I'm just gonna go through them.
Yeah, sure.
Tomek A. Hi, saying Ziyech is starting for against City today, so that's
cool.
good to know. I heard something about Ziyech, by the way. Maybe a transfer to Benfica or something. They want to do a swap.
Yeah, he was offered the rumor to be part of the deal for Enzo.
But he probably.
Benfica said
that.
no. That's what they say. Yeah.
But it's only for
the
a
Vagebond.
loan.
We mustn't forget that in the summer there were rumors that Daley Blind wanted to block the transfer of Wijndal, and Schreuder was pushing. So it might be an insight in.
Is that true? I don't know about this.
I didn't hear this either, but I hope.
Yeah, there were rumors. There were rumors.
Behind the curtains, probably, because he was still with the Dutch team, right? So
Schreuder needs to start pushing himself and just let the scouting system do their work, because his management and his choices with players coming in.
But if you look at it at this moment, you got Huntelaar, who's interim technical manager, Hamstra, interim. You got in the supervisory board, who's responsible for the football part, Adrie Koster, interim. So we only have external interim management who are in control of transfers and players. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
That's our biggest issue at Ajax at the moment. Not even the coach.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. This is the biggest issue.
Well, I'm gonna give it to Kevster. He's a PSV fan, but he's here, and I'm just gonna give him the respect he deserves. Blind should have signed for PSV. No, Kevster, he would never. Thank you for that comment.
I'm interested whether maybe he can answer that. Whether they will get a replacement for Gakpo, or whether they will look internally for a replacement. It's good to know how our competitors will do.
Yeah, exactly. Kevster, if you have that answer, type it, and we'll bring you back. Akash Goswami, love from India. Thank you, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Let me see.
Ajax fans all over the world.
Yeah, definitely. That's so good to see them.
Yeah, that's the main reason we do this, right? Keeping them together, bringing them together.
Somebody talking to EyeJax, so I'm just going to give him. Kyle Harrison, EyeJax, give yourself more credit, bro. You said on the United stand to give Ten Hag 6 months. My God, 6 months on, and you are starting to see everything you said would happen.
All right,
thanks,
guys.
Thanks,
this is come on, give it to him. Come on, guys.
Very good, bro.
Appreciate that.
I think it was United View, by the way, not United Stand. But...
Yeah, United View. Yeah, true.
And then Ref Schreuder needs 6 years. What the hell?
For what? 6 years for what?
For doing what the Hag does in 6 months.
Probably. But the only thing I would add to that, I have to be honest though, what Ten Hag is, I think one of you guys mentioned it. He did surprise. Papimento said it. He did surprise us at United. He surprised me as well to be able to get everything working in such amount of time with basically almost the same players as last season. I mean, yeah, he spent a lot of money, but a lot of players last season, a lot of fans wanted them out, basically, and he's still playing with them, and they're still performing. And the thing I want to say, I think Ten Hag also at Ajax matured into a better coach, and now United is maybe also profiting from this.
But does it really surprise you, Juan? Because
yeah, man,
you know, you even said it on United View. You know, we knew he would improve certain players, but the main thing with Ten Hag is he lives and breathes everything for football. You know, everything he does is for the team, and he's
every
like
coach in the Premier League does that.
No, not every coach. He's a special
coach.
He's a special. No. The way he handles the team and does his tactics and the amount of hours he puts in to practice with the team and make sure everything is right in a situation. No, bro. In a situation
12 hours a day busy with Ajax, bro.
No, but in a situation at Manchester United, that there's so many things wrong within the club. You have to have a firm personality to be still doing your thing, to every other thing in the club, just keep it outside and just focus on what you're doing. And he has that ability to just block it out and just be stubborn and go for it.
Yeah, but with Ajax, I would say to that, yeah, I agree. We know how good he is, of course, but Premier League is another beast, and Manchester United is a massive, like club as well. And even the United fans, even after all the praise we gave Ten Hag, a lot of them were like, with this board, with this lack of management structure and these kind of things, doesn't matter which kind of coach you put there, it's very hard to succeed. And that's basically my surprise.
That's what
for me. I have this discussion a lot with you, with my little brother that's Arsenal fan and Arteta fanboy. 3 years to make it a normal team, and Ten Hag puts in 6 months with little improvements. He makes players better. So for me, that's a big comparison in level of coaching.
Yeah, but as you said, he breathes football. As EyeJax said, he even watches the under 8s and under 9s during the training academy of United, just as he did for in the Ajax academy. He also does it for in the Manchester United academy. So he wants total control. And that is what brought him where he is right now.
And which coach would go with all these stars, after a game they lost because they didn't run enough? On Monday he goes to run with
that
them.
was legendary, they got an ass whooping, and the opponent team just had like 70 more kilometers they ran. And he just had a punishment for them.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Ten Hag never worked before in the Premier League, and he came there. He got criticized by the media a lot. The players like Lisandro got criticized for being short. The Ronaldo situation, not easy to handle as well. So he had a lot of things to overcome. It's surprising that he's managed to do this well.
Yeah, this soon. That is like the thing that we should have, because we expected him to do it, but in the long run, But the thing that was very smart by Ten Hag is that he knew what he was getting into. Maybe not the full extent of it, but him asking for full power, considering players and considering transfers and stuff, that was very smart of him, because that is one thing that makes sure that you have the power to do it as you want to do it, and not have external parties or internal parties within the club decide it for you. Because his fate is tied to it. And this is something that he did quite well, and already stated that before he started there. This is one of the main ingredients that helps him bring success to the club.
Yeah. All right. Let's move.
With the comments?
Back to Ajax.
There's some Harry Maguire bashing, so I'm laughing already. V Cobra, Maguire would not play at Ajax. And then somebody said Maguire would not even play at FC Twente, never mind Ajax. So that made me laugh. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. And then we continue. Akash Goswami is asking, who's your favorite Ajax players from the academy at the moment? Quickly. Guys, go.
Yeah, a few. I like Hato. I like Vos.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Those are the prime. Kaloko. Also a great player. It's a striker, left winger.
No.
There's some potential. There's some potential, but it's not. Those are more the under 18s than the under 21s.
I expected a little bit. I expected a little bit more from Sontje Hansen, actually. I had high hopes for him with that youth European tournament they had, with the Dutch team a few years ago, doing very well.
Yeah,
I had high hopes for him, but still hope he will turn things around and
he had the depression, right? So maybe that was.
But he wasn't, as you guys know, probably you guys read this. It's taking a very long time. Even Schroeder commented on that for him to sign a new contract, and he didn't go with them to training camp.
Yeah, because he didn't sign yet.
Exactly. What do you guys think of that? Basically, you guys agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
You need to know where you invest into, and if it's a long-term prospect, if it's a player who is committed, then you invest in that player. If it's not a player that's committed, then why put energy in that player?
Okay, all right. Papimento, Let's go.
Yeah, here a comment from Joris Burma. How do Ajax have to it with their defense? Because it did not look like Ajax will buy a defender. For me, I have zero confidence in the defense.
Same, bro.
Same here, Joris.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always. Oh, go ahead, Papi.
no, Sahbi, take it.
No, I just want to say, from the three players, so 2 center backs and the defensive midfielder, there should always be a minimum of 1 player who can play ball, who have the passing ability or the build-up ability. We don't have those players.
Minimum 2 for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to be more on the.
But I'm just trying to say that even with Blind, you saw that he was the only one with the build-up, and teams were anticipating on blocking him mostly. But if you have like what we had with Mazraoui on the other side, it becomes much harder to just focus on one player that does the build-up.
The main difference is that Blind has his passing ability, but his defensive ability was so bad that it was a huge risk. With Martinez, for example, you had passing ability, build-up ability. He can defend like crazy, and that's the typical player that we want if you play with a defensive midfielder that doesn't have that football quality play. So I would rather have 1 center back that can play ball, that can build up and can defend, than 2 really center backs who can really defend and a footballing midfielder. I would rather build up from the back, and we don't have any of those.
Oh no! It's actually quite simple to fill in one of those positions, because with Blind leaving, his deficiencies aren't there anymore. Wijndal can play that left back position quite well on his how he plays. Maybe not a build-up play, but he can hold his own. You just have to play Berghuis next to like an Alvarez. He needs to develop his role within the team, because he can pick up that ball close to our defense and just distribute it like a Frankie did, like a Schönekoud, He has that ability to do that, but he has to transform and grow in that role, because I can see him helping out, delivering the ball up front. So you at least have 1, but you're missing a defender.
You're missing one thing, Ajax. You're missing one thing, Ajax, and that's our problem was when they put pressure on our defense. You need defenders who can build up or can move around from that pressure. Berghuis is more for the build up.
Yeah.
If you can build up, but if they're pressuring us, it's too difficult for.
You're saying you're saying we didn't have any of those. I'm saying we have the player within our squad, Berghuis, for that midfield position next to Alvarez. But I'm agreeing with you that you have to have a defender that can also build up, so that you have 2.
And who can defend as well, yeah.
But for the midfield, I can see Berghuis doing that role, for us.
And I still think Wijndal has a lot to prove, because it's still early days and he didn't show much at Ajax yet.
Yeah, he played the first 5 matches, I believe, as left back. We won them all, or 5 or 6. So before he got injured, so he did.
I would like to also respond to that question, if that's okay. I think I spoke with Papimento earlier about this a few weeks ago. So one of the things that you could do, and maybe Schroeder has to be creative about this. We're not going to find a new central defender quickly before the games start in January, right? And we don't know if we're going to get a player, that can play from the back. We don't know. These are hard to find, because it's really an Ajax thing a lot to have a player that can really build up from the back. And right now we don't have that. So what we can do, the way I see it, there are 2 things. And maybe Schroeder can watch, and maybe he can learn a thing or 2. Maybe
at least.
But the thing he can do is, I always go back to the Boss era, and the thing that Boss did was, of course, he had a little bit of a build-up, because he played Schöne after 3 months. He played him as a pivot, So maybe you have to change somebody there that can be a bit more of a baller. Who that might be, I don't know. That's very hard to say, but in that case, you have somebody who helps. But the second thing also that you can do is, Boss was very good at pressing. He would tell the players to press in the opponent's half, get the ball there, and then it's very short to the goal, and we can score a lot of goals. I think if we can be better at pressuring the opponent, it alleviates basically the build-up from the back. That's one. Second of all, I'm looking also at Arteta, and one of the things that's really good, the way he's playing with his team, because sometimes I watch other football as well. The Zinchenko role. So I think because he plays Wendell going deep a lot, and probably he will do the same at the right side with Rensch and or Jorge Sanchez. Maybe he can play Grealish or Berghuis in the role like Gravenberch used to play with Den Haag, that he can fall back or go as a
That's
three.
what Ajax meant.
Yeah. So there are things that he can do to circumvent that whole situation, but he has to be creative about it, and he has to make a choice and stop shifting players every 90 minutes after 60 minutes and these kind of things. He has to work on the structure.
I mentioned this between us. I think we had a talk about it also, Juan, and it also has to do with if you see the team is struggling, then also the wingers have to come closer to their own half to offer themselves, for a free pass to progress the play forward.
True.
Instead of allowing the team being pressed, and every time a long ball has to be played from the keeper. So it also has to do with awareness amongst other players and helping the team out, preventing those long balls, because we're not good at handling those long balls, So
there
should prevent that.
It all comes down for me. Part of that is because Schreuder has to start working on the structure. It's crazy talking about this after 6 months.
Definitely.
But we still don't know what his ideal 11 is. We don't know.
Not even 11. Also, the way we play. There's no identity. There's no identity. We don't know how he plays.
You know what baffles me? I was watching the last friendly game. Cannot even remember the opponent, to be honest. But it was not a high-tier opponent, and seeing Luka being played on the left wing position, I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah.
This is going to be terrible. You're going to be
a long season. It's going to be a long season."
I swear to God that those friendlies didn't help one bit to get me a little excited.
No.
So I'm still
I want to
a little excited.
But not only that, like PSV is playing AC Milan and that kind of opponents, and we're playing Telstar, Volendam, all that kind of opponents, and still we're struggling, It's like.
Yeah, it's
doesn't give much hope. No.
Before we go to the comments, just one question from my side, and I also want actually the viewers to respond to this. So we have 5 eredivisie games this month. I'm excluding the Den Bosch KNVB game next week. So let me see. We have NEC, then we have Twente, then we have Feyenoord, then we have Volendam, and I think the last game is Excelsior. So how many points will we get from those 5 games? I want also the people just to drop on the comments how much they think we're going to get. Let me go with Sahbi first.
I go for 9 points. Already mentioned that in my tweet. 9 points. I see a draw against NEC, a draw against Twente, a draw against Feyenoord, a win against Volendam, and a win against Excelsior.
Are you trying to be a bit like, I'm trying to prove a point, or are you seriously thinking you're going to get...
I'm seriously thinking about that. I mean, NEC at home is quite difficult to beat this season.
Okay.
And we are struggling all the way. It doesn't matter which opponent. We struggle all the way. And against Twente, it's only because it's a home game. So the home advantage will bring us that point. Feyenoord is always a game on its own, so I go for a point. And then Volendam should be easy at home, and Excelsior should be easy as well, in my opinion.
Didn't they play Volendam as a friendly not too long ago?
Yeah.
Was that easy?
Yeah, but still we won.
yeah, man, that was very easy. But no, okay.
EyeJax, how much? How many points?
Trying to be positive here. I'm very much doubting between 10 and 11 because I hope that we will get 3 wins, but either 2 draws or a draw and a loss. So yeah, 10 or 11. It's difficult to predict. Let me be positive. Let me say 11.
We're being realistic. I mean, we all hope for 15 points, of course, but we're talking. We're just realistic, and we.
No, but in all seriousness, Twente and Feyenoord, you could draw against them, especially in the form we are in. So that are 2 points. The other 3, you just have to win. The others you have to win also. But
Feyenoord has 2 major injuries, right? Timber and
but still.
Yeah, but we have a coach.
We have Schreuder.
We have a coach that is mentally injured, so I think that tops it all, man.
But before we go to Papimento,
I'm just going to be...
go ahead.
Ajax status, my expectations of the Ajax status, actually we should get minimum of 13 points, but I'm calculating Schreuder handicap, so 9 points maybe. 9 points. But seriously, any other season with a normal coach, we wouldn't be happy if it's not 13 points. So
everything
that's the whole.
Everything lesser than 30 points would mean he should be fired, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I had so much faith like last season. Every game I always thought, we're gonna win. We're gonna win.
Yeah,
you know, like
now,
that Ajax mentality. It doesn't matter against who. And now I'm like, no, man, we're not even gonna win. You know, it's like
all because of you, Ajax. All because of you. You pointed Schreuder as the coach for Ajax.
Bro.
I'm blaming you.
He was my second choice, and yes, I wanted him, and I hope he proves me wrong. But I'm not a man that cannot, say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The way he performed, I was totally wrong.
I expected him to be better as well.
But
you had it right with United. You had it right with Ten Hag and United. So
you cannot be always right. But he disappoints me very much. And but in my defense, Boss was my primary candidate. So
true.
Yeah.
Mine too. Can I continue with the comments, guys?
Yeah, guys, we just passed the 1 hour mark, so I don't have any questions. Let's go and finalize whatever is still open, and that's it.
Mark Wesseling, keep it going, guys. Appreciate you, buddy. We will. Good to have you here. Kevster is responding to a question of Sahbi. Fabrizio said we were looking at someone from Molde for 10 million. But Dutch sources denied, so no clue at the moment. Looks like El Ghazi's the replacement, and we have Noni back from injury.
I trust Fabrizio more than the Dutch sources, so...
Okay, so maybe somebody will come. We have Sima Mahmoud. Love from A-Town. Here we have Ovreset. I hope I say it right. Love from Norway. Oh, man, so many international fans.
I love this. Yes.
Is Gazelle is really a confirmed deal? Yes, he is.
Tomorrow medicals.
Do you think we should have signed Noppert or Reyes instead?
Raya.
The amazing content.
Raya.
Anyone wants to react to that? Sahbi, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some footage and I've heard some things about Raya. Apparently being very good on the ball with his feet. Build-up is great. I think he's also younger than Rudy. But he's less experienced apparently, so it's a matter of choice. And I wouldn't have mind Raya if I look at this. I haven't seen a lot of footage, but I do know Ruli from the Premier Division, and I'm quite content about Ruli. So yeah.
About the goalkeeper, right? We touched upon it earlier. Just a quick question on the fee, if you guys are okay with that for a 30-year-old goalkeeper. So rumors are it's more than 10 million. Probably, I also read that it might be 10 million fixed plus 5 million bonus. Is that an okay fee for you guys for this goalkeeper?
I would have said like years ago that's way too much, but the way the market works at the moment and being in the mid-season, you always pay that extra tax, because you try to poach somebody mid-season. It's not as cheap as after the season or prior to the new season. It's difficult. I just hope he brings quality. If Sahbi says he saw some good things, then I'll trust him fully in that. But I do not know if he's a good goalkeeper. I just hope that the scouting system was involved this time. Then I have like some hopes that he will be good. I'm happy that we didn't go for Noppert because he did well. He did well at the World Cup, like we discussed before. But he's 28. He never played like a first goalkeeper a lot in those previous years. Never was there paid any amount of money for him to move. So it was more of a hype train and more of a chance to, have a flop,
Okay. All right. Clear. Sahbi, did you want to add to that, or can we continue?
No. Just one small. Just a question on the difference between Vlachodimos and Ruli being 30 years old, 28 years old, perhaps the same transfer fee, and supervisory board blocked the transfer of Vlachodimos. Whether it's, with regards to quality, I don't know whether he's good or not good. You hear different opinions, but the argument that has been used doesn't match with Ruli being bought. So that's a bit strange for me. Maybe they've used the scouting for this goalie, then it would be clear. That would be logical. But for me, it's unclear why 6 months ago it was blocked by the supervisory board because of the fact that he's too old, and after so many years, there's no room left to sell, etc. You have the same thing, only 2 years older.
But
I'm not talking about quality, yeah.
One could argue, Sahbi, I'm totally with you on this point, by the way. But one could argue that our situation prior to the season and our situation after the first half of the season are totally different, because maybe also the board and within the club we had much more faith in the team and the way we would perform than the actual performance in the first half of the season. So now they're like maybe panicking a bit for like, hey, this is not going well, we need to intervene now. And maybe they have different standards now because the level isn't there.
EyeJax, I will go with your explanation on this one and ask you this. Do you feel like with the panicking that you're mentioning, we should have panicked for a goalkeeper or we should have panicked for other positions?
I'm not saying I agree with it and I'm panicking because I've stated on this before. The goalkeeper situation, I would have waited maybe till the end of the season because I think we can manage with the 3 keepers we have.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't the highest priority. I'm 100%.
It wasn't my highest priority. The central defense position was the highest
easiest
priority for me, and maybe somebody at the right wing position to help Chico out there. That they can fight it out together. Those were more of a priority for me than the goalkeeper position. So, but I'm just trying to bring an argument here. What the board would have,
all right,
brought to the table.
Clear. Papimento, anything else?
Yeah, we have a lot of comments, so I don't know if you want to do them all. This is a quick one. Rita Shahi, Juan, would you start Tadic or Chico or someone else in the right wing position? Who would be your favorite?
I will start, but that's my opinion. I will start playing players in their natural position. So Chico, for me, deserves a chance. Actually, to be very honest with you, in those friendlies that were played in the off-season, Chico was one of the bright stars and one of the few, actually. So he deserves it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I wanted to touch upon one more thing. I have some faith in Kaplan also. I saw some good things of him in those friendly matches. Yeah. So hopefully, I do not know what his physical situation is at the moment.
For the season.
Couple of months.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So in my view, we need to look for 2 center backs, not only one, because he's injury prone. We lost Daley Blind. And we already were looking for a center back, but it looks like a mission impossible to me. But a question for you now, Juan. Would you choose Bergwijn or Tadic on the left wing?
Tadic. Yeah, Bergwijn, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think he has a lot of qualities, but the way he has been performing lately, and also with the Dutch team, I don't know what's happening with him, form crisis or whatever, but the best players, the ones... I honestly follow Ten Hag's rule now. You have to be informed. You have to deliver. If you don't deliver, you don't play. It's easy as that.
That's the way to go.
Except for the diplomats. But one left now.
Exactly. Okay, what else do we have?
Quickly, it's a question. Guys, I've heard that Chelsea is still running behind Alvarez. What do you think about it? And if it happened, how can Ajax cover Alvarez? I'm Egyptian and the biggest Ajax supporter in the Middle East. Oh, man, we have so many. That's amazing. Thank you, Capo. And... I mean, that's a position for me that needs to be looked at as well. If Alvarez leaves, you need a replacement immediately because Grealish is not going to cut it. So
no, I'm not agreeing on that part, to be honest, because I think we didn't see too much from Grealish yet to be able to say he will not deliver in that position, because I think he's a quality player and he could add something to that position, to be honest. I think he's a better passer, definitely, than Alvarez is. So he could even...
Yeah, but he's not a better defender.
No, but he's not bad at it. He played quite well in Germany.
But this is what I don't understand from Schreuder. I mean, it's his. It was his call to bring him in. Why not playing him? He was a free agent, but they paid a lot to bring him in. He probably has a huge salary, and they paid a lot to sign the agreement. We didn't see anything from him. What does that say to us as fans, or to Schreuder as a coach? I mean, all of those players that have been bought don't play. It's just ridiculous. And only question marks.
Not only Schreuder, also Kaltenbach knows him very well. So his staff knows his
playing with his
qualities.
But wait, how many players? You're saying all the players that we got are not playing. Which players are you referring to? So apart from Grealish, who else do we have? Chico is for the future. We know this.
Let's be honest. Brobbey isn't playing all the time also.
Jorge is not
Yeah,
playing.
but the reason.
Ocampos isn't playing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
right.
Jorge was
Luca
bought
isn't playing.
as an additional right back. Otherwise, we could have used Regeer.
Wijndal wasn't playing all after
At
his
the start.
injury still. You know, he mentioned something in the media that he was already fit like way earlier, but still he wasn't played. So I think Sahbi is quite right on the argument, actually.
It's a lot of money, totally wasted.
All right. Papimento.
DM checking in from London, boys. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I hope
Thanks,
we didn't
DM.
offend. I don't know if he's an Arsenal fan, but I hope we didn't offend him. So
We can offend anyone we want here, right? Let's see the rest. D-Mac with 9 points, Schreuder out. So he agrees with us. That's
With
good.
15 points, with 15 points, Schreuder out.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Either way, Schreuder out.
Kasa's confident, 15
Good.
points.
That would be
Good,
Casa.
good.
That would be Casa.
At least someone, right? And I think that's it for now, guys. Aren't we? Here, our moderator is also commenting. Aren't we looking at that Brazilian for the CDM? I don't think that's still happening.
Isn't he
Varela.
that Arteta
Well-
fanboy?
Well, I can just say this. We know that Huntelaar and another scout were having a vacation time in Brazil and Argentina. And we were being linked with a couple of Brazilian players, but we're not hearing anything anymore. So we don't know what's happening.
I think they got distracted. I think they got distracted on their vacation, bro.
At the beach.
Probably. The thing is,
You can skip that one.
Sorry.
no, show it. It's fine. Mr. Saltfish.
Roy, I called you out on Schreuder when you called him as a name at EyeJax.
You're breaking up. I cannot hear you anymore.
Oh, I called you. I'm still breaking up.
No, he's joking, bro.
I'm with Roy on this, but he knows it.
All right. Guys, I think this is the end of the show. It's been really, really amazing, to be honest. And 1 hour and 12 minutes, we didn't expect that, or maybe we did, because we haven't been online for a while. I want to thank the whole community. Everyone will be back, of course, with the NSA game. We will have a game talk. Next week, we'll be back with a live stream. As I said before, we will try to have somebody, maybe a guest from Villarreal. Maybe he can tell us a little bit more about Rulli. We're working on it. So no promise, but we're trying. Sahbi, EyeJax, Papimento, thank you so much, guys. And let's hope for
Anytime.
See you Sunday,
Always fun.
bro.